Hey, everybody. We are on day 11 of our 49 days of self-care. Today, we focus on forgiveness in the heart chakra. We also cover transformation, as I say that the heart space is the space for transformation. This is where we get to kind of decide, really make the choice what action we take next. Do we need to repeat cycles, right, in our human life experience and our humanness, if you will, because we still have some more things to clear out, which is fine. It's part of the process, it's part of our journey. Or is it cleared? Are we ready? Do we pivot up into the vibration, the frequency of the higher chakras and be able to move forward in that space? Iona talks about in the Soul Legacy Academy and Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network with the Soul Legacy Journal, she talks about environmental freedom today, right? So with those intentional living codes that she teaches us, we cover our environment. Do we feel free within our environment? Do we feel pushed and pulled? Do we feel limits and limitations? And of course, as I tend to say, the environment really starts right here, right? With this physical human body that we are lugging around on the daily. So do we have that sense of freedom within ourselves? Are we able to move through the day-to-day? Again, do we feel pushed and pulled? Are we limiting ourselves even, right? So if we bring that even back into that space of transformation, are we allowing ourselves the opportunity to pivot up? Are we allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves? Are we allowing ourselves to clear and release that old energy? Or not, right? Or not. So this environment first, most of the things, you guys, if you read it, if you hear it, if you hear people saying it, it does start within. We project out, right? We're creating based on whatever's going on within us, within our energy body and our thoughts and our emotions and our beliefs. So within this environment, within the environment of our mind, the environment of our human body, our human self, and all the layers, do we set limits? Or do we have that freedom that we can be in that, what Iona calls the soul guidance, right? Being guided by our soul, or what I tend to say, being guided by source, God, source, creator, that vibration and energy of unconditional love, right? Which does not carry blame, shame, and guilt, which that's where that forgiveness comes in. When we are able to forgive ourselves and others, or have allowance for that forgiveness, as Matt Kahn would say, can we allow forgiveness to occur? Then we're able to clear out the resentments. We're able to clear out the blame, the shame, and the guilt, whether we're pointing fingers outward or using one of those many fingers that are pointing back at us, right? Excuse me. Either way, it's a opportunity to take that action to forgive. It's something we do intentionally. We have to really, for most of us anyways, when we're caught in that humanness, we have to be aware of it. Some things we may think or feel that we can release pretty easily, but when it comes to that trauma stuff, right, or those deep rooted beliefs, programs and conditions, and then when we go through those spaces of awakening and realization, trying to make sense of things, right, we might get wrapped up into that blame, because whether we realize it or not, and again, there's no blame, shame, and guilt in the process, but whether we realize it or not, it is part of our human process to make sense of it. So in that process of making sense of it, we might then say, oh, well, because this occurred, which could feel like I'm pointing a finger outward to blame, because this occurred, I took it this way. And now I'm blaming myself because I took it this way. And then this is what I did with it based on that level of understanding. And that was way off, right? Again, that level of awakening, when we have that awareness and we see something bigger, allowing ourselves to forgive both outwardly and inwardly so we can clear and release that, pivot up into the higher energies, that transformation, right? Deep stuff, you guys. And then we can project out a better situation, that better, clearer, meaning clearer energy, that more healed form of energy, which allows more of the unconditional love to come through us and outward from us, right? Inflow, outflow, it comes into us, and then we share that outwardly. We project that outwardly, which then shifts the energy in our actual physical environment. So one thing I have shared before, like my physical environment hasn't changed in the past almost 2 years, right? I've been at my mom's it'll be 2 years in October. And there's been a lot of shifts and changes in energy in that, right? There's been a lot of healing processes occurring in the time that I have been here before, probably continue after, as long as I'm here as a human, right? But my actual physical environment hasn't changed, but the freedom within it has. So as Iona talks about, that environmental freedom, it's not even that we have to necessarily, sometimes we do. Sometimes we absolutely change our physical environment, which is completely fine too. But it's not necessarily always the fix-all. Sometimes it's, again, the inner environment that helps us then have the freedom or feel a sense of freedom because we've cleared and released some stuff within the environment that we're in, regardless of where we go, right? There she is. Were your ears ringing? I was talking about you. I'm not sure how long you were there. Sorry, I was on my rant. There's Iona. She says, hey, love. Hi, Iona. Sammy ran out of breath almost. Whew, a big rant. Iona says, is your time 6-ish or 7-ish? Sorry, I missed the beginning. No worries. So it's my time. It's 1:09 p.m. now, but 1. I've been trying to come on around 1 o'clock my time. So I think you're 5 hours ahead of me. So that would be 6-ish, I think, your time. If nothing's changed yet, because I know time changes are probably coming up shortly again, which throws us again. I think we changed a 4-hour difference for a hot minute. I don't remember. It's hard to keep up. I think right now, though, it's still, I'm 1-ish, and that would take you to be at 6-ish. The ish. Iona says, love the transformation as we make our difference in the world. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was doing more today and what I shared with you behind the scenes, Iona, with the 6 steps. And it's so cool. I have a picture to share with you. Actually, I'll try to remember to send that telegram. Iona says, the environment. Wow, 2 years in October. I know. It's hard to believe. 2 years. It was October 2021 when I started staying here more. Like before that, it was 2017 when I spent half plus nights here a week, but I still stayed at home. Still had most of my things at home. There's still a whole bunch of my things at home. But yeah, consistently every night since October. Iona says it's true that inner first, and it may be the only environment that needs change. True that. That is such a deep, true statement. And we don't always see it. We have resistance in it. But part of that is just the layers. So as we start to clear some of those layers, it starts to clear the veil, right? We talk about the veil releasing. Well, that's within ourselves as well, our ability to see within more and more clearly. Again, it's not blame, shame, or guilt. Doesn't usually happen like overnight. And sometimes, as I mentioned before, I'm kind of glad it doesn't just happen overnight because, ow, like it hurts in the process that it's in sometimes to make it even more intense. I can be grateful for the journey of it. But yeah, because of my own clearing within, that point I was making, right? And Iona's aware of some of the struggles and ups and downs that I've had being here and, you know, some of the triggers and the awareness or new awareness, level of awareness that would come in for me. Different perspectives, different views. Yeah, it was rough. I had some really rough times in the past 2 years being here, but more recently, again, allowing forgiveness to occur, easing off the blame, shame, and guilt, right? Whether it's pointing outward and or inward, because both occurred. But yeah, the physical environment itself has not changed, but I have, and she has. So together, right, it allows the energy and the experience change within this physical environment. Hope that made sense. I feel like I danced a little bit around those words, but I think I made my point still. And I said I heard some coolness. Perfect. 6-ish for me, UK time. Right on. Yeah, I think so. Sounds right. Iona says I just up and changed my entire environment. You did too, right? So I love that. If you're not listening yet, please do start listening to Iona's lives as well. And I share them on my wall so you can find them easily. she talks about that massive journey of, leaving her home of 11 years. I don't think you mind me sharing because you share it yourself live, but leaving her home after 11 years and kind of stepping into the digital nomad, But that Airbnb, I gotta say, was amazing. That first, well, after at Amsterdam, that pit stop at the Airbnb, that was beautiful. Iona says, oh, yay for visuals. I know, right? Got to have my visuals, you guys. So many days a week. I remember that, right? Truth. Absolutely. Iona says, oh, yeah, our triggers in the last couple of years, it has been rough in and out awakenings. Absolutely. It is more than one spiritual awakening. We do have many because we have many layers. So whatever that looks like, I feel like the term spiritual awakening is a name of a process that we go through. And sometimes we do reach the area where it's, rainbows and unicorns and butterflies and all the cool, beautiful love and light. The whole process isn't like that, though. So being raw and real and speaking to it, not getting stuck in it, but letting other people know, because and I know for me too, so I'll just speak for myself, but I've heard the same from others. Excuse me, when you hear these words like spiritual awakening or ascension or enlightenment, I got to keep my eyes on the weather, you guys, because if it gets bad, I'm off. Electronics with electrical storms don't mix. Not trying to get zapped, but so far we're good. I could see enough out my windows to keep an eye out. I just thought I heard thunder rumbling in again. Where's I at with that? Oh, but it sounds amazing. So we have these expectations. We're like, oh yeah, you release all this stuff, right? And you really get to step into your highest self and your true self. And yes, love and light. And yes, we want more of that. And yes, that feels like home. And yes, that sounds exciting. And then you start going through this awakening process and you're like, WTF, It doesn't feel love and light at all. It feels horrendous. It's burnout and it's painful and it's shocking sometimes. And there's a lot of blame, shame, and guilt going on, right? As that veil thins or it lifts. There's some holy molies. There's all kinds of things going on. So calling it out, again, being raw and real. So if anybody else is out there experiencing those WTF moments and you think it's, or or maybe you're not sure yet, but you're hearing it could be a spiritual awakening, that, yeah, it probably is. Like, it probably is, but you're not alone. You get through it. There is love and light in there. Like, don't give up. And we're here for you. And I'm not just saying that, like, literally, we're here for you. We have ways to help you through it. So please stay with us. Iona says, made sense to me. Perfect. Thank you. Share away. Thank you. I didn't figure you would mind because, again, you do share it on your lives as well. Iona says, oh, yeah, the Airbnb was lit. It was. Those pictures were amazing and videos that you shared. They say stages of awakening. Yeah. Yeah. And Dark Night of the Soul. And we covered some of those yesterday, right? And it says, zapped, please don't. I need you. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. And I won't. I won't. I have no intentions of being zapped because I have my little Bluetooth thing in my ear. So, like, yeah, no. Not even interested in that at all. I'm glad you're laughing with me. It does feel horrendous, right? It does. Like, I think of my most recent one, which was 2020, and it may or may not be what your assumptions are of what that means, and it's okay. But because I thought, here's the other, I thought it was only one. Like, I thought you went through A, because that was what I was hearing, right? We go through a spiritual awakening. Well, I'd been through one, and then I thought, okay, so I actually thought I'd been through more than one, but with everything I was hearing at that point in time, I assumed it was just one. So it was just part of the process, and, layers. I learned more about layers in the energetic body as I learned about Reiki and chakras and chakra healing and energy healing. And so then that made more sense that it could just be layers, right, coming in. And yes, it is still layers, but there's also more than one awakening, because one complete viewpoint that I had after what I thought was either many layers or multiple awakenings already, there was a whole nother shift that took place. Like, holy stinking heck. I'm really just watching my language because I share this all over. And I get in trouble by doing nothing now. So that's kind of funny too. Iona says probably is for real, right? True. Yeah, not just probably, it is real. And we are here for you 1,000,000%. Iona says, no, many, we do, don't we? We have many layers. We go through many awakening processes. And it's okay. Again, it's no blame, shame, and guilt. And if you're feeling blame, shame, and guilt, don't beat yourself up and add more blame, shame, and guilt to it, because I have done that, literally. Which is why we're here for you, because we've been there. We're still learning along the way. It's still a journey. People say that and then we dismiss it or just kind of blow it off or minimize it. Like, oh yeah, it's cliche. It's a journey, blah, blah. No, like for real, like literally a journey with ups and downs and the corkscrews and the roller coaster rides and the ins and the outs and the layers and the beautiful rainbows and love and light and the real crummy, dark, painful, deep stuff, gunk that we clear out, right? I still believe that as we are here as human beings, that we continue on the process, right? We're not done clearing. I thought I was. Again, before 2020, I thought I was. Like, I thought I had done all I needed to do. And then I was just now in this space to be that space of light, to hold the space for others who needed it. And that was it. Like, and I was actually quite freaking happy with that. I was just fine. I was happy to be in that space. And then, nope, here comes another layer. Son of a gun. I wasn't getting off the hook that easy. That's okay though. I really don't mind. I really don't. It's that sense of humility. So if you've heard the phrase spiritual ego, that is a thing. And yep, that veil had to come off. So I have that gratitude for the humility, and I have that gratitude for the awareness, and I have that gratitude to be in the space, aware enough to know that something new that could be completely unexpected could show up in my awareness. And just that in itself is okay, right? Just having that openness and that willingness is okay. Instead of trying to shield myself constantly and hide from everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm still an introvert. I still like my environment to be clear, and I still like me and my environment. And I still don't want to call in a whole bunch of consistent boulders of gunk, right, from the world around me. But I'm also open to being a part of the world, a part of the process, a part of the system, not that system, but the system of, awakening and, excuse me. Yeah, the mass spiritual awakening. I love it. I love being able to be a part of that. And I'm happy to show up in it, which is why I'm here on a daily live. So if Iona, I know that you're here with me. It doesn't show that anybody else is, but if you are watching and you're hearing me, or you come back for the replay and you're hearing me, I'm going to start asking that if you resonate, if you would share it out. That would be amazing, because whether we like it or not, algorithms are a thing, and which is fine. I'm not trying to fight it, but I think that maybe if we just work around it, right? So maybe I'll just start asking. I've not asked before. So if people would share, that'd be amazing. Then maybe I can get in front of more people, and maybe more people can hear that they have the support, and maybe more people can hear a process that works, right? Maybe more people can just get, again, that support with self-care. Iona says, we were created to awake to our soul self. Exactly. And it's not easy to do, is it? It's not all hard, quote unquote hard. May not actually be hard, but it feels hard because it's painful. So it can be a painful process at times. And that's not all of it either. So I'm not trying to freak anybody out and be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go through that. It's not that the whole process is painful. It's just being aware that some of it is, and that's okay. And it's just part of the process. You're not doing anything wrong. I think that was a big thing for me, because, inner critic wanted to criticize going through a process that was completely normal for what was happening. But again, beating myself up with that blame, shame, and guilt, criticizing myself. So if anybody else is out there doing that, I just want you to know you're not alone. And it's actually pretty normal for what we're going through. So Iona says, I am so grateful I awake and I am not walking around asleep. True that. Yes, share, please. Right? And it's funny to say that now because there was a time, right, when I was terrified to show up. So there was a time that I probably would have been nervous about someone sharing. But, now here I am using StreamYard trying to hit, the 3 places at once. Someday it will be more, and then it's sharing on top of that. So yes, please share because we're here to support each other through all of this. And we know we're not done. So more is coming. So let's not assume that we're done and let's not try to hide from it. And let's just keep coming together and moving forward. And Iona, I'm excited about the podcast. I'm excited to share more about my story and hearing more of yours and others. That's really cool. Iona says, it's nice to know we are not weird. True that, because as you know, I use the phrase misfit, right? I've always felt like a misfit. I still feel like a misfit, to be completely transparent and honest, but not to the same degree as I had before, right? Now I feel like we have not even just the island anymore of misfit toys, if you're familiar with the movie, but that we all exist across the world, right? This is a global experience. It's not just happening in one space or another. And Iona and I can attest to that. Like, I'm in the United States, Iona is in the UK, right? That's just one example. So if you really stop to think about, even though we all come together online in this environment, when you're paying attention to where people are at, where are they showing up from? What part of the world, right? This is global. Humans, the human existence, the human awareness is a massive awakening. I was going to say something else to that and I lost it. So maybe it'll come back. But yeah, I feel less than. I don't feel as much of a misfit, or I'm not bothered by it. Maybe that's just it. I still feel like the misfit, but now I feel like that's completely okay. And I know that I'm not alone. Where before, when I felt like a misfit, I felt lonely. I think that's it. I felt lonely before, and now I know I'm not alone, so I'm cool with it, right? Like, I'm just another misfit, not the only one, if that makes sense. And misfit, not saying that's a bad thing, because it's really not. I think it's amazing, just saying. Iona says, haha, yeah, like, get me visible. Yeah, exactly. No, right? What a big difference from Miss Terrified to get on video, on camera, in a private group. I think it was private, right? Private group, just to introduce myself to, hey, share this. Let's get out there. Let's connect with more and more people. Let's share and connect and support more and more people. Iona says, well, if you are, I am. Thank you. See? And it's not a bad thing. It's kind of exciting. It's like more exciting now. Get on the SBYN map. True that. Exactly. That's a great space to be, right? That's the environment we want to be in. Yeah, I don't care now either, right? It's like it's not a bothersome thing anymore. Another misfit. It's like more, to me now, saying misfit is like when people use the term tribe, right? This is my tribe, and we're all connected together, and we have these things in common, and we're a tribe. To me, that's like the same thing as, for me, misfit. So I don't mean to offend anybody if you hear it and you're like, no, not that. It was private. See? A private group. I was terrified to get on camera to introduce myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm spreading this out. I'm sharing it out. And if you hear it, share it too, because we have people to reach. We have people to learn and love and grow together, right? Iona says, I plan to put our SBYN on the world map again. Oh, cool. That was neat watching you do that and be able to see the little pins of where people were at and places to visit around the world. It really is worldwide. It's amazing. So we have a visual. Yes. I love those visuals. Speaking of, let me peek at my cheat sheet. Peek at my cheat sheet. Today, addressing the heart chakra, I just don't want to forget to mention, just putting your hand on your heart sometimes, right? And breathing into that space of our heart chakra and aligning with the energy of love. And regardless of where you're at, if you're ready to release and pivot up into the higher vibrational energy, or if you're dipping, quote unquote, dipping back down into the the human experience to clean up whatever's left. Either way is fine. Both are fine. Just don't stay stuck, right? Just don't get stuck, because either way, it's a layer towards the space of transformation. It's coming back. It's going to come back up, right? You may notice I have it's kind of a light colored green, but I have my green t-shirt on because the color green or pink resonate with the heart chakra. And the solfeggio frequency with the heart that resonates with the heart chakra is 639 hertz. And affirmations or reflections for today: I love, right? I love you. I love me. I love life. I love my environment inside and out. Whatever affirmations are fitting for you, or again, reflections. What do I notice that I love? What brings me joy? What fills me with that energy of love? I can almost hear the first healer I worked with me, teaching me that. Like, think of what brings you that just glorious unconditioned feeling of unconditional love, and allowing that to build in your heart space, right? So of course, as a mom and a grandparent, I would think of that. Think of how much I love my kids and my grandkids, and I literally tearful because of just that deep sense of love, right? And just allowing that to build in your heart, and then expanding that love and that feeling and that vibration, that frequency of love through the rest of your body to overflow out into the world, right? That, you guys. But affirmations and reflections, you can check in with yourself, see what needs your love, right? And then write those affirmations to give the love to that. Maybe it's loving your ego, and not in that way of letting ego take control, but just allowing yourself to share that vibrational frequency of love to help heal, right? To help heal the ego, because it has purpose for us. So having love for it. We don't have to love what we do when we're in that ego space, but we can love that it's there and that it has a purpose for us. And the element for the heart chakra is air. So breathing, just life, right? But that breath. So taking slow, deep breaths, really feeling it enter your body and filling that whole space, or breathing it into your chest. Belly breathing is the deeper fullness of your, getting that full expansion of air, but also to connect it within your chest, your heart chakra, right? So don't stop in just short, shallow heart or chest breaths. Go deeper into the full belly breathing, but really, again, just setting that intention to clear and build in your heart space. So hopefully that makes sense. Iona says, did I miss anything? Yes, there it is. Iona says we do have people to reach. We do, don't we? We have a lot to come together. People have lots of stories to share too, right? So it's not that we are just trying to reach people. We want to connect with people. We want to hear what other people have to say too, right? So homework for today, went on big rant. I had fun today though. So thank you for being here. I'm glad I could hop on because we have had storms in and out. So if you watched yesterday's live, you know that I was feeling quite wonky. The energy was just in this environment all the way around, but the storms was quite wonky. It continued all through the night. I can hear a little bit of thunder trying to creep in. Floods, like all the things with icky storms. But it's easing up today. I think the internet's connecting better today. It wasn't even connecting well yesterday. It took forever for some things to upload afterwards. But it's clearing out. So again, global, right? The earth even is clearing and releasing and shifting and awakening. So it's not even just a human process. It's literally a global, universal process, if you will. So excuse me. So homework, check in with yourself as always, be aware, assess where you're at so you can align with your highest, where you truly want to be, right? Or what you feel is your purpose of being, how you are intended to be. Set those intentions to align with your highest, right? So if you do want to allow forgiveness to occur so that you can just release the baggage of resentments, right? Again, not the same as giving people a free pass to keep doing things. It's not a free pass to say, okay, now it's okay what you did. It's not that at all. It's only so that we can release the boulder of resentment, right? We can release the anger. We can release the pain. We can rid ourselves of that. So check in. Are you holding any resentments, right? Be aware of it. Assess where you're at and what steps can you take to align with it, to set those intentions so that this environment can be a space that you feel comfortable in, that you feel love in, that is that space, that heart space of transformation. So if you do it, when you have, not if, when you have layers of something come up into your awareness, you can allow forgiveness to occur. You can meet it with love and compassion. And then you can transform, right? Pivot up into the higher vibrational frequencies. If you're comfortable, again, drop them in the comments, share them in the groups, post it on your wall and tag me in it. That would be cool. Let me know how you are doing with your self-care. Don't forget to share. Check the, I feel like my throat's getting all wonky. Don't forget to check the, peeking out a window, description for our links. Get on our free calls, right? Join us on our groups. Join us back here tomorrow. And tomorrow is throat chakra healing. It's probably why my throat's going wonky. Like, don't forget to mention me. It's throat chakra healing tomorrow, right? So thank you, Iona, for being here. I love you billions. Thank you all who watch, pop in and out on the live or watch the replay. So much love. I will see you tomorrow. I want to check if there's anything else, but I think we're good. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.